Annie. My name's Madeline, and this is
I'm Ty.
Nice to meet you.
great. Can you tell us about what organization you are and what mental health services you provide?
Sure. I work for Sacred Heart Rehabilitation Center. We have locations all across the state. We have one right here in Bay City and in Saginaw. And we offer treatment programs, medical assisted, like people that are trying to get off of substance abuse issues. And then usually that's coupled with like therapy and counseling because we find that they usually are partners in crime and they go hand in hand, mental health and substance abuse disorder.
So, do you guys have counseling services right in your office as well?
Yes, we sure do.
So, like, what would be the process for someone to like access your services?
Well,
Like contact.
we have different contact numbers that they would call, and initially they would get like an intake service where they would go through and ask extensive questions, figure out what they're struggling with, and then at that point they would recommend like what services they feel that they should utilize at that time. And then if we can't help them at our office, we are in contact with lots of other organizations in the area that we can refer them to. There's a wonderful, like Peer 360 has peer coaches that, help them to, if they're struggling to stay clean, it's another person that's kind of been through it that can guide them and show them, help them through the process because it's not necessarily easy to get the services that you need.
Yeah, that's really true. Can I ask what type of insurances you provide, or is it open to the public?
It is open to the public. I will be honest though, I don't know what type of insurance we accept, but I know that we do take a lot of them.
Awesome.
That's kind of not my department.
No worries. Do you guys offer services just in office, or do you guys do remote as well, Zoom or phone calls?
You can, if, we're all about helping people, so if they can only do it over Zoom, that would definitely be something that we would provide. They do have like telehealth and just different doctors that you can get, like if you are here in Bay City, but we find that you have a better fit with someone down in a Richmond office, they can definitely do that.
Nice.
I know I'm doing the same thing.
Do you have any events coming up?
Not currently that I'm aware of. We usually do a lot of stuff out in the community. So like for us, one of our main events is we do an overdose awareness event every Labor Day weekend, August 31st is the International Overdose Awareness Day. It was our first annual one this year. We do it out at the Friendship Shell in Bay City. And it was amazing. We had over 100 people, and we gave people an opportunity to scan a QR code and they could give us a picture and a bio of their person that they've lost to overdose. And we created a memorial wall and we put them all up there. But the really cool thing is we offered like a open mic time slot where people could come up and just, talk about their person, share their experience, and the overwhelming amount of people that got up and talked was just amazing. It was a very powerful night.
It warms my heart. I like to hear that.
It was really cool. I'm super excited to do it again next
It's
year.
empowering, especially when one person starts talking and you see somebody else and they make a nice change of events.
Well, and I think that there's so much stigma surrounded around overdose to where like people might not feel comfortable talking to everybody about their person because it is stigmatized. So bringing an event like that together where people can share a commonality and there's no judgment. We all just want to love each other and help each other through it. And getting connected with somebody that has that shared experience is really powerful and very helpful to the families. And we had quite a few hits there, which was sad, but also in a way it was kind of offered hope that, they can maybe change the way we're going with it and make a difference in the world in the future.
That's really cool. So you said you do a lot of community outreach. Do you have other things coming up? Or, like, what are some other examples of stuff that you do?
Well, anytime anybody asks us to come to their event, we're like, absolutely. We do a lot of things where we partner, like we do Run with the Law, National Night Out. Those have already happened for this year, so they'll be coming up next year. But, I'm a prevention coordinator. So what I do is I go into schools and I talk to students about the dangers of vaping and drugs and domestic violence and different stuff like that. Because I'm out there trying to teach them so that we can change the direction that we're going with a lot of this stuff. I love what I do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Education is super important, especially when it starts like that young.
Yeah, sadly this year we decided before I was doing middle school and high school this year, we're trying to get into every fifth grade classroom to talk to kids about vaping. It's exploded in popularity.
Age level to start at.
Yeah,
There's actually 4 of us that do prevention coordination for Bay County. I'm through Sacred Heart, and the other ladies are through McLaren. So like they do a program called Too Good for Drugs with the elementary students. And this year I'm going into all the fifth grade classrooms to discuss vaping. You know,
It's much controversy. Actually,
it is, some schools don't want any part of it. We don't have those problems. We don't want you in our classroom. We do run into that sometimes. Sometimes we get kids that will come back on, because it's a 4-day lesson on day 2, come back in and say, my dad says I'm too young to be learning about vaping, but what I will say is the very first question that I ever ask the entire class is, how many of you have somebody in your life that vapes? And every single classroom that I've been into this year, every single kid has raised their hand. Everyone.
gives me chills.
So fifth grade might sound young, but you know, we are finding that fifth graders are getting exposed to it and actually using it too. Like I also ask, okay, now how many of you have tried a vape? And some of them are brave enough. And I've had kids in fifth grade that have told me that they've tried it.
I'm happy that you're out there and you're bringing awareness to the situation and, you know, bringing stigma down was what they really need. And I thank you for that.
Well, I don't think a lot of kids understand that. Honestly, a lot of adults don't understand the dangers that vaping does to your body and to your brain, especially for kids, because their brain's not fully developed. So once I explain the dangers to them, it's just really cool to see them understand how dangerous it is and that they need to stay away from it. And then, you know, I went home and talked to my mom and I'm trying to get her to stop. So, you know, I tell them my goal over the next 4 days is to teach you how to be me, to arm you with the information so that you can educate people.
I love that it's a 4-day class.
Yeah,
I would
that's
enjoy this.
insane. If I want to,
Just sit alone.
Anytime you want to come and watch me do the lesson, just let me know and you're more than welcome to come as my guest. You can sit in the classroom and watch
I'd love
me
to
do
take your
it.
email and we'd definitely join along.
yeah, okay,
All right, I'll get you my
that's
business card.
amazing. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
the fifth grade are my favorite. They're like on the edge of their seat, you know, they really want to learn everything. I show them some pretty gnarly pictures of what can happen to you when a vape explodes and just, you know, give them all kinds of information and knowledge so that
What
they
they
understand.
need
I think
because
we need to hear as well.
yeah, no kidding.
Challenges.
It's just exploded in popularity in the last 4 to 5 years and it's everywhere. And a lot of times I'll ask the kids, where do you get it from? Because I'm also in charge of all the vendors in Bay County that sell tobacco and vaping products. And so if they're selling to minors, I want to know so that I can go and do an undercover sting at that location. But most of the kids sadly tell me they either get it from their parents or they just find one on the ground and pick it up and use it. I know. I'm like, do you even understand how dangerous that is? It's not only dangerous, but disgusting.
Oh,
But we talk a lot in extents about furry black tongue and I show them pictures of it so that they understand, you know, you can't just pick something up off the ground and put it in your body. You don't even know what it is.
yeah, and like I can definitely see how you could like connect the stuff with vaping to like the more just serious stuff when it comes to like the overdose and getting into that side of
Addiction and
Well,
Yeah.
nicotine is one of the most addictive substances on the planet and it alters your brain chemistry and that puts you one step closer to other, you know, substances because your brain's not functioning properly. So, and you know, most kids don't realize that if you have a parent that has, you know, substance use disorder or struggles with an addictive personality, you are 4 times more likely to develop something like that. So they need to be hyper vigilant and conscious of their choices.
yeah.
And most of the time, you know, their parents aren't talking to them about the dangers because number 1, they don't know, or number 2, they just don't want to face, you know, because a lot of times the kids will say, well, if it's so bad, then why are you doing it? And they set a bad example for their kids that it's okay to use these substances on a regular basis.
Yeah.
super good.
Okay.
How do you stay updated on best practices to teach students?
Everything that we teach in schools is evidence-based, because it comes through the state. So we have to gather data. Like when I come in, I have to do a pre-test, and at the end I do a post-test to show that what I'm doing works. So that we can continue, going into the classrooms with these programs. So, I use the Catch My Breath program and I really like it. It's a phenomenal program. It does a great job of showing the kids the dangers and the statistics. Our area, I feel like, has a little bit higher usage than, say, the national average. The last time, like, because every year they gather data, and Bay County had the highest percentage for vaping usage, marijuana usage, and drinking usage. We have since brought it down by like 25%, but we're still higher than any other surrounding county.
Wow.
So
I did not know that.
it's a culture in our area. It's, I mean, you can drive 3 miles and pass 17 marijuana
Yes.
shops.
Yeah.
So it's just not, people don't understand how dangerous it is because it's just so common and we've made it normal in our area. So
Yeah.
kids are following in that path.
Really good point.
I like that you said you brought down the statistics, so you are combating that issue.
Yes, we are working hard, really hard to try to bring it down. But, when parents are giving it to kids, it's kind of like, how do I fight that? All I can do is arm them with the knowledge and hope that they make the right choice for themselves for the future. Thank you. I do too.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. And we want to get more people involved. A lot of people don't even know what prevention is. Before I took this job, I had no idea that there was something like this out in the community. So we do all kinds of stuff. Like we have a trunk or treat coming up on the 18th of October, and that will be at the Boys and Girls Club. So anybody can, yeah. Anybody can come, bring resources, candy, pass it out. So, we try to get events to get people in, but also have resources there so that if they want information, it's there and available to them. It's like, I had no idea how much resources were in the community for people that were struggling with substance use and just different things until I took this job.
Read them and
You got that?
find all that information. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all the questions.
Yeah.
All right.
We appreciate
Very
it.
good. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's nice to meet you. I'll bring
That
you
was
back
really
my business
interesting.
card.